Hi, welcome to part 6 of the React tutorials for beginners. So we will start with the concept of destructuring first. So destructuring is actually a concept which is used a lot in React code, and you will see see props getting destructured a lot in this way. And the concept comes from the ES6 destructuring. So React uses a lot of ES6 features. So this is one of that features, this destructuring. So for destructuring, this is the code which we have from the earlier part. As you might know, we are using the same code base only. So let me comment this counter out now. And what I need one greet and one welcome. So this, let me comment this also out, because I'm going to show destructuring in both functional component and class based component. This one, first two are coming from this greet, and the second welcome Java, and this is coming from our class based component. So let me first show in the functional component, which is greet.js. So this is how our component look like. First, so the first method is to destructure in the function parameter itself. So this props is there, so we will destructure here itself. So how will you do that? In the object, and we know we have a name and a children prop. So name comma children we have to do. So, and then let me, I don't want this. Okay, and it is destructured. It is so simple as that. And I can now I can remove this props dot name and props dot children, and let me save it. And we didn't got any error, means it is okay. So this has been done. So this is one way to destructure. The second way in a functional component is to destructure is let me cut it and let me go to props only. So like the way it was there, and it is to destructure in the body and const, and this is the way which you have you might know from the restructuring in ES6 also. If you don't know about much about ES6, you can refer my ES6 course. I have a very good course on ES6 in which I cover everything. So ES6 is very much required for React knowledge. So this, like this, name changes, so it is working fine. So this is the second way. So now we will learn in the class. So this class is there. So let me open this, and now we will learn to destructure detail. So we are not passing any parameter here. So how to destructure this? And in class also we have this dot props. So we will use the second method which you have seen in the functional component, exactly same like that. And we generally destructure inside the render. Const name comma children, and it is not props, it is this dot props here. Okay, and now I can go ahead and remove this, go ahead and remove this. So it is refreshing and it is done, no error. So means it is done, no error is there, it is okay. So our destructuring is done. So the next thing we will learn about is event handling. We briefly saw event handling in the part 5, where we had a button and we clicked on it, the on click handler. So we are again going to learn, but different ways of on click event handling, and why we require it, all those things we learn in detail. So for that we will use a functional component. So we create a new component for that. So let me close them, and let me again comment them out. Okay, and okay, save it, and the component will be called function event dot js. So, and it will be a functional component. So again I am going to use my snippet RAFCE and then tab, and it will create a functional component exactly similar to what I want. And then let me come here and create a button. So button, the button will be called click. Yeah, let me import it also so that it get shown here. So this, let me come here, function event is not coming. Okay, import function event from components, function event. Yeah, and the click functionality is been done. So after that, the button on click. So this on click, so it is different than the on click of a HTML. In HTML, generally we don't have this camel case. The C is small. So this is a bit different than what we have in HTML for this React. So one click, C is capital, and then after that, let me do a function handle click, handle click, and then I will create this function. So one thing, another important thing, let me first create it, then I will talk. Function handle click, the older way to create a function, the function keyword in React, and console.log button clicked. Okay, so let me save it. Console, let me click button click. So what I was telling, that we are just calling a function. An important thing is there which many new people make mistake is to do a call here. So we cannot do a call, we can do a call only in arrow function, which we're going to see soon. So if I, let me do it like this, let me remove this and let me save it. Let me see what happens. I don't want to save this, I want to save this and see what happened. This button clicked, I didn't even clicked on the button, this got called the moment that this everything is rendered. This got called. We don't want that functionality, we want only when this click button is clicked. So this warnings are coming because we have a lot of these things we are not using it. uh, Let me do it. If you're not using it, let me comment it out, because I don't like warnings. Okay, so it is done. So then happening, yeah, button click is working. So the next thing which we are going to do is on a class-based component. We will see how we can do this in a class-based component, and that class-based component, let me create it. It will be known as class event.js, and again, how to create a class-based component from the snippet. So as I have told earlier, let me show you the snippet also, so that you can install it in your VS Code. The snippet, I have a lot of snippet. I have a video also for that snippet. Check. Yeah, this one is the snippet which I have. So you can install this snippet, VS Code ES7 Redux snippet. So this is quite cool. So class event, and then RCE I will do, and then press tab, and it will create the complete thing. But it does this unnecessary thing also of named export. I will remove that named export, and this is done. So the next thing which I need to do, I need to first import, use it here also. So it is giving a big error because I'm not returning anything. So next button, I create the button. Let me give it a different name so that it will get differentiated. Click me, like this. Click me, I will give, and it has been done. Click me, it's been done. So this is coming from a functional component, this is coming from a class based component, and after that again I will have the on click handler. But the thing is that with class based component we access everything with the this keyword. So this dot handle handle click will do, and then this handle click method we are going to do it here, and then let's give a different message so that we can differentiate it. Button is clicked from class component, and if I click this button is clicked, so both of them are working fine. So what is the problem is this issues, uh, actually these were very simple cases. The problem actually occurs in a class based component when you use the set state. So now we will see the problems. So again we are going to create a new component, event bind.js, and it will be a class based component. So RCE, let me close it, let me remove this name export, and then save it. We will have a constructor also, and there is a short form for constructor also in that snippet. Const I have to give, and give it space, and it will come, and the state will be, state variable will be message, just a message, hello world, like this. Let save it, and the return I will have a, let me have a h1, and this will contain this dot state dot message. Okay, let me save it, let me quickly include it, and let me move this event event bind. Oh, it automatically imported it, that's cool. The world is displaying means it's working fine, perfectly fine. So now what we are going to have, we are going to have a button and click, and the on click, this dot handle click, again we will have this handle click, this dot set state message hello Java script. So state and this hello world should get changed to hello JavaScript. So let me click on it, and I got this error. Actually, we saw this error in the previous part also, and cannot read property set state of undefined. So this cannot read property set state of undefined. Actually, this is undefined, so it cannot read this property. So let us check why this is undefined means. Let me remove this and then console.log of this. Let me do this. So now when I click on this, see this keyword, this is coming from this 15 line, it is undefined. So this is a problem, and this is not a React specific problem, this is a JavaScript specific problem. And I have got a video on this, so I will put the link for that, and you can check that out. Why this is very confusing in JavaScript also, and because of that we get this error in React also. So you have to learn this uh, in for React also. So let me tell you how to fix it. Actually, there are some four methods to fix this. So we will look into all those four methods how to fix this. So let me uncomment this, and the first method is concerned with the bind method, and uh, we will use a bind here dot bind this. So the first method is this, so let me do it. And now I will click it. Hello JavaScript is done, means it is working. And see our this, now our this refers to this function, this on click handler, this refers to that, and this is the reason it is working perfectly fine. So next, so this is the first method. Okay, so the next method is the arrow function method, which we briefly saw in the previous part also. So for that, let me remove this bind and this function like this arrow function. We are calling a function like this. So here we have to give this brackets because we need to call it. So uh, what we are doing is simply defining and declaring an arrow function, and we are calling the handle click, and it's a single statement, means it's a actually arrow function, completely arrow function. We can have multiple statement also, but in React we cannot have multiple statements like this. So because it's a single statement, so we can do like this, and this method is used. So let me not talk, and let me first show that whether it is working or not, and it is working fine. So this method is the first method is not used nowadays that much. This method is used when you need to pass some parameters to it. See, I can pass some parameter here, I can then pass it here, and this method is used in those cases. So now I will see the third approach, which we have again briefly seen in the previous part, and this approach you will see in almost every old code. You will see this even nowadays also, you can see that. And so we'll see that method, and that is, see, the first and the second method, they are not optimized for performance because this is binding will be done every time. So the third method, it is optimized because the constructor we learned later on, it runs only once. So if you do something here, so this handle click will be like this, and we'll bind it here, this dot handle click equal to this dot handle click dot bind this. We'll do this like this, clear it and click again, and it is working fine. So this method is preferred, and you will see it in almost every old code, but nowadays people don't use this method. Now the fourth method is much common, which we use nowadays. uh, Let me comment it out. And the fourth method which I am going to tell, it is, we are going to make this function as an arrow function itself. So for that, I'm making this function itself an arrow function, and see, it is working fine. So this method you will see in almost all of the code nowadays. So nowadays the preferred method is method number 4 and method number second if we want to pass some parameter. So this completes our part 6. So see you soon in the next part.